Mike, Mira here. I just wanted to hop on and show you the different design boards that I have for each space in your house, and I apologize about my voice. I was sick last week with COVID, and now I'm still just recovering here with all the crud and stuff going around. Anyhow, I was just gonna hop through here and then just show you the different spaces throughout your house. So here is your dining room, and just pretty basic. I kept it, I think that the bar will be pretty much a focal point, and also because it has the back on it, but also because with that different colored glass, the vases and the bowls and stuff that you have, I think they'll really pop out in the glass shelves in the back here. And then I should make note too that the clock in the upper left hand corner, I was envisioning in your kitchen area, in the corner where your table is in the kitchen area. So just keeping it simple and having a clock in there for something on the walls in there. And then I know you guys have a framed family picture already, which we can totally use, but otherwise there's this company called Smallwoods, and you can see the label underneath the picture there, but they make custom photo frames basically, and so you just have to upload your picture and they ship it right in the mail to you. Super easy, really good quality. I've ordered a ton of stuff off of their website. So I was just utilizing that family photo that you guys already had, but making it quite a bit bigger. So on that west wall in the dining room where the bar is going to be at, there's the door leading down into the, I'm calling it the sunroom, but anyway, leading down into the sunroom, and to the left of that doorway is a little table that you have there. So I was thinking that this picture could go right above that table, and again, keeping that focal point on the west wall, also that's when you're walking into there from the kitchen, where you'll notice everything anyway. Above the bar, I had this custom neon sign, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about it, but when kind of doing research with the questions that I've asked you, but then I also did look up Tanya's obituary again and just kind of read through that. I just really wanted to, get a feel for her, and to just, keep her memory alive too for you guys. I know you talked about how you kind of want to make it seem like 3 guys live there, which I think is important, but I was also like, how can we still incorporate her memory? And I did the woot woot sign from what she always would say when attending the boys' sporting events and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool and neat in there. Again, still sticks with that more masculine look that we're after, but also really, I thought, a fun way to honor her too. And so that's where that comes from. But again, it is custom, so it could be anything that you would want it to say. Maybe you even have something else that you think would be more unique to honor her memory to something else that she always said. So that is that. And then again, you know what the bar and table looks like, but I just threw it in there so you could kind of get a picture of it all together. On that north wall in the dining room where the window is, the window treatments, it's up to you to keep. I can suggest something if you would want to update them. Otherwise, if we're going to be putting a blind in there, maybe they can just go all together. I didn't suggest any artwork for that wall. I think, again, the bar will be a focal point enough that I don't think it'll be necessary to put anything on there, but I do have some ideas if we do feel like it needs something on the walls over there. So there's the dining room. So here is the living room, and again, I know you had the stained glass window up in there, and so that had quite a bit of red and like green tones in it, so I kind of pulled the red out of it and was inspired with the rest of the house, or with the rest of the colors for the room. So with working with the furniture that you have also, and just that black and just the natural wood colors too, I just have a floor lamp and a couple other lamps. I know you have lamps in there now, so if you decide to that you want to keep them, that's perfectly fine, but otherwise here's my suggestions, just to more so match with the style of the furniture that you brought in versus the floor lamps that you have now feel a little bit more traditional. So here's just a floor lamp, and then over on the end table there you just see just a basic table lamp too. And I was thinking 2 of those. You'll see in my next slide here how I was thinking of rearranging the furniture. So that's why there will be 2 end tables with lamps on them. And then behind each of those end tables on the wall, I was thinking the metal wall pane that you see in the right hand corner here. And just to get some length on the wall, but keeping it pretty simple, because that's where that stained glass window is too. So I didn't want, something with a lot of color to either clash or take away from there. And then on the south wall of the living room, so right adjacent to the doorway when you walk in, I found this really cool world map artwork. I love the colors in it too, but also I know you guys do enjoy traveling, so I just thought this was kind of a cool piece just to bring in that a little bit also. And then the cowhide rug, that's totally up to you, but with the way I arrange the furniture, I'll talk about that a little bit more. But it can go both ways, because some people just don't want anything on carpet, which I completely get. But again, just adds a pop of color. With you previously having cattle and still being on a farm, I think it works. And then again, a few other items. There was this poly end table in the bottom left corner, and that I was just thinking beside your chair. And again, in the next slide, you'll see how I arrange the furniture. So that's why I just an end table. And then I threw in some pillows. I don't know if you want pillows. Some people just think they're more of a hassle than not. But if you did want them, just adds in a pop of texture, or a pop of color and some different texture. So I was just thinking some for each of the couches, and I didn't put any for the chair. And then because in my arrangement I was getting rid of that council table, that plant on there will have to have a home, and so I just threw in this plant stand, 1 to keep it up off the floor, but 2 allow it to get a little bit better sunlight also. And then lastly, I kind of talked about a little bit, but those end tables, they just match your current coffee table. Yeah, that's about it for them. So here's the next slide that I was kind of talking about previously, and it is just the living room layout. And I know before you guys talked about the sofas feeling too oversized for in there, and so if this layout, and maybe you tried it, if you still feel that way, then that sofa can stay in the sunroom. But I just thought you bought it, so let's try and utilize it where you guys spend most of your time. And 2, if you're going to be entertaining more, especially with the bar, it's kind of nice to maximize your seating in the space where you guys are going to be at the most. So as you can see here, along that south wall is just one of your sofas with those 2 end tables, the lamps, and then directly behind that will be those metal wall panes with the stained glass window in between. On the west wall, just your sofa, and then with a floor lamp. And then on the north wall is your chair, and then that little poly stool that I talked about just next to your chair. We try to, in all of our houses, in all of our designs, make sure that basically every seat in the area has a table next to it so somebody can set something down, whether it's a glass or whatever. Hopefully you can still hear me. The fan just kicked in, but I'll see how it sounds in the video. Anyhow, again, on that east wall, I put the TV on that wall. One, it just seemed like the furniture laid out a lot better if the TV was on that east wall. But two, I didn't know if you guys maybe have tried this before, but also maybe the TV needs to stay on that north wall just with, I don't know if you have cable hookups, whatever over there, but this is something that we can talk about as we get further. And then directly below the TV, I just put that plant there in that plant stand. It could go on either side, totally up to you. The one thing that I did not put in this floor plan was that big crock that you guys had that had blankets in it. It can easily fit in the space, whether it goes by the TV or in the corner between the couches or behind the chair. But I was going to leave that up to you, just how easily accessed you want it to be, because like behind the chair, yes, it's there, but it's not necessarily user friendly for you to get at either. But that is the living room design. And then for the sunroom, I kind of did a little bit more of like a sports theme, I guess, if you want to say in here. I know you guys love sports and the boys are very active in sports, but also when looking back at pictures and when we were at your house, I know you have quite a bit of baseball memorabilia and stuff. And so I thought this would be kind of a cool space to actually showcase that and utilize it. So in the top left here, I just have a couple different baseball pictures. They're supposed to be like patents, but kind of gives them more of a rustic feel. And then on another wall, and I'll show you in the floor plan again in the next slide, but on another wall I have just a floating shelf with these brackets. And if you click on the picture where it says the early American up here, it'll take you to the website and you can see what that shelf will actually look like. But again, just a floating shelf. I just did this American flag picture, pretty rustic looking, but then I was thinking with the colors in this space, we could utilize that blue mound photo you have, and then also that mound milkweed photo, and layer the pictures on the floating shelf. Not a very good illustration that I have here for you, but just so you kind of get the concept of what I'm thinking of putting on that floating shelf. And you might have other baseball stuff too that we could utilize up there. So with using our couch in the other room again, I just threw in a couple chairs. You might even have a couple chairs or have something else in mind, or if we decide we want to keep the sofa in there, it doesn't really matter. So I just threw these chairs in. They're just swivel chairs, and a couple pillows on there for just a pop of color to pull that red from the baseball stuff, and then an end table for between the chairs. And then my last thing here is that console table, and I will talk about that. I'll pull up the next slide and talk about that here. So here's the sunroom floor plan. So when you enter in there from the east, I was thinking on that south wall, that's where I was envisioning that console table. And then you could either set the TV on that or mount the TV on the wall, up to you. But, and you can use your current TV stand too, that would be fine. The reason I was thinking that console table is it just seems to fit that narrower space better, just to leave that walkway from the front door and the door into the dining room too. But that console table also has a little bit of storage for underneath, so we could put some of the boys' like sports pictures or other baseball stuff you have, whatever. And then again, you can just see the couple chairs on that north wall, and on that north wall is where I was envisioning that floating shelf with the flag picture and the Blue Mound picture and that milkweed picture. And it doesn't, I mean, you see what it's like with the sofa on there. It's essentially the same thing. Doesn't really fill up the space. If you would ever want to add more seating, there's definitely options, or there's definitely room for it. But just a simple way to, like I said, be able to use that sofa in the other room like you originally planned for it. And so that is the sunroom. And then the bathroom I kept really simple, just a gray shower curtain. I apologize for how grainy the image is. Sometimes those website images just don't look well when you crop out the background. So I did do the zoomed in image of it in the bottom left corner just so you could see. It has a little bit of texture, but it's pretty simple. And then I just did black shower hooks. The wall art I just kept pretty simple, but pulled some of those reds and the grays and even a little bit of blue that we have going on with some of the other spaces. And I was just envisioning these two actually probably side by side instead of one on top of each other, but side by side, just right in the area above the toilet. And then towel hooks for where that current blue cabinet is. I was just thinking 3 towel hooks on that wall, and then the towels will hang down there because I know we were going to take that blue cabinet out. And then I just threw in some towels too. Most people, if they update their shower curtain, they just like to update their towels too and have everything match. So I just threw in some towels that I would suggest. And yeah, just keeping everything pretty neutral and just tying in with the cabinets and the flooring and the paint color that you have in there. My last slide here today is the window treatments. I know we talked about that we wanted window treatments, but we didn't necessarily talk about the style or the look that you're after. So I just threw in a couple that I thought would look nice in your space. There is like the wooden blinds, and if that's something that you're interested in, I think that'd be a fine option. But unless people really want them for the look, I don't try and recommend them as much, just because they are such a pain to clean, and you're cleaning every individual strip all the time, and they always get super dusty, and especially when living on a farm. But if you like the wood blind looked, then that's fine, we can go that route too. But otherwise, I just did for option 1 a standard cellular shade. You still see them around quite a bit. Would help block out light for viewing the TV. Nothing really crazy about them. And I did Regal Gray, but we have all samples of these, so I'll bring them into your house and actually see what the fabric looks like with your paint color and your furniture, etc. And then option 2 is this layer shade, and these have just started to really become popular in the last little while. I love them. I love how they look, but I also love how they operate. I feel like if you're going to spend that much money on shades, why would you not have them down all the time? And so this allows you to have them down all the time, as you can see in the right picture. But if you still wanted light to come through them, then it's just a simple pull, just a pull of the cord, and it allows those stripes to line up so light can come through. Or as you can see on the left, that's when it's fully closed and those stripes are layered on top of each other so that they completely block out light. So totally up to you. If you have a different envision, that is fine too, but just a couple that I thought. So yeah, there is your design boards for the space. And ultimately, from here, it's up to you if you just want to take our ideas and then be done, and you can go and purchase everything and do everything else on your own time. Otherwise, what I would do from here is give you a price list of everything. So I just throw it into an Excel document so you can see everything, and it just breaks it down by space. And then you can either, again, go purchase the stuff with that price list, or we can purchase stuff, and then once we would purchase it, then we would probably come in and just set up the space and design it to how I have in the design boards. So, thank you.